Friday, and it is not just a Friday. It's the last Friday before Labor Day. It's Labor Day weekend already now. Woo woo! I had the day off today, actually. The kids had school. I had the day off. It was wonderful. I just kind of bummed around. I actually, one of the things I did was I went for a drive. I needed to go to Total Wine & More and pick up some things that I pre-ordered that they just throw in the back of your car. And then from there, I just started driving around, checking things out. For those of you just joining, I'm talking about it's Friday, and I took the day off today. My company was actually closed today and Monday for the Labor Day holiday. And so, yeah, just a good time. One of the most exciting parts of my day, though, was learned that there is a Chipotle coming to my neighborhood here in North Oak Cliff. People are either cheering ticker tape parades, which I am leading that parade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or people are losing their minds, saying, "Oh, we have so many better authentic Mexican restaurants and taco shops and stuff." Which, even though Chipotle claims to be Mexican, no one considers Chipotle Mexican food. It's just Chipotle. It's fast food. It's bowls. It's burritos. All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's what that is. I'm doing a real quick episode today, just a little, but you can't hear me. Well, let me see what's going on with that. Display audio, speakers. Can you hear me, Phyllis? I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Is that it? Okay, good. Yeah, but you're talking that you can hear me, so yeah, I like Chipotle. Thank you. That's better. So I hope now, Kathy, you can hear me. Or turn up your volume, Kathy. Turn up your volume. I'm glad technical difficulties are not always on my end for once. So anyway, we're getting a Chipotle in our neighborhood, and that is like blowing up the North Oak Cliff Neighbors Facebook page. People are like, yay, or no, that's the worst, whatever. So I thought that was funny. And then I just drove around to check out things. I don't get out much anymore. We don't really do anything. I'm actually kind of loving not doing things. But then I drive around and I'm like, where did that come from? And where did that come from? And where did that come from? So anyway, so yes, and y'all are saying you can hear me now. Good. Sorry. I think I had one of the settings change yesterday when I was on so I could hear, and I can't have the external speaker on because I have an external speaker thing here. And if that's on and the speaker's on, you get feedback unless you use the same one. I am already over my head on the technology stuff here. And I'm normally actually a very good tech person, but okay, so we're here. Yay. Good, everyone. So I took the day off. We're going to do a real quick episode today. And then after this, if you were a subscriber to my website at coopedup.com, you should have gotten an email at about noon today with a link on how we're going to have a little virtual happy hour in about 15 minutes at 4:30. Just people have wanted to meet each other that have kind of communed through this experience and just hanging out and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that you will join us. So I'm going to cut this one a little short, and then so I can jump over to the after party. How about that? So what else was I going to say? Oh, like I'm driving around and they're like entire housing projects that have gone in, like been built up and are like sold already. It's sold signs on them. Like it is crazy. It's crazy the speed of change. I always say that the official bird of Dallas is the building crane. And I think that is true now more than ever. Just it feels like there is something being built everywhere you go. But cheers to Friday and a long weekend. Y'all like my extra gay scarf today? This one says love all over it. It's in cursive, love, like spray painted. And then I think it even says live through love or something like that. Yeah, does it say live through love? I like this. I have a face mask that has the same pattern on it. I really, really like it. So, and Kathy, she fixed it. Thanks, Monica. She had her Bluetooth on. That's what it was. And Eric is sick. He has a call at 4:30. Everyone wanted to meet you, Eric. Oh, man. That's too bad. Well, we'll just have a good time. We'll cheers in your name. How about that? So Okay, there's a couple things I'm just going to run through real quick, and then we're going to get over to the after party. One of them is I saw that the Farmer's Almanac, the weather report, the expectations for Texas and most of America is that we are going to have a drier, milder than normal winter this year. It's been really nice here the last couple of days, but I think it's going to get hot again this weekend and then go back down again next Tuesday, I think. We're getting a cold front that is so cold that parts of Texas will be freezing and parts of it will still have 100-degree temperatures. It's going to be bizarre. I think I saw that's what that is. And little known fact, or maybe not little known fact, Dallas specifically has not had significant accumulation of snow since March of 2015. That's the last time we got more than an inch of snow. I believe it. I actually that year thought, well, fuck this. I'm going to go buy a legit sled. So I have like these slider things in the garage that I bought that summer in anticipation for the winter that have never, ever been used. I don't even, who knows? They may have like rotted. They're plastic, so they could have like plastic rot. So anyway, and what else was I going to say? I'm Facebook snoozing like crazy right now. If you don't know, Facebook has an option where if you click on someone, you can snooze them for 30 days, which means you don't have to worry about going back. You can unfollow them, but it reintroduces them to your feed 30 days later. It's kind of if you just need to pause somebody. So I have decided that if someone makes me feel any way like or annoyed, or if I have any sort of visceral response to that person, that I just don't need that energy in my life right now. So I am snoozing away. Boop, 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 boop. Too much of this, too much of that. And it's from both sides. Too much of this, too much of that. Mostly political stuff, but then also some stuff that it's just like, like if I just think you're a moron, I'm going to snooze you also. So there's that. And then I promised, so to be the story, my sister's watching. She can back me up on this. I promised to tell the story about throwing my body myself on my granddaddy's dead body on yesterday's broadcast. And so I will tell that story now, and then we will close out the show and go to the party. How about that? Oh, and I also remembered, in watching the playback, I realized that y'all couldn't see the photo I was talking about. Can y'all see that photo now? Is it up on the screen now? Someone say so. So this is a photo that I took for I think my very first Facebook Live when I moved it over from kind of my personal page to this cooped up page. And you can see how much shorter my hair was. Can you see that? How much blonder my hair was? I've still got a little bit hanging on right there. I think somehow I look tanner now. I don't know why. Maybe it's the summer. But yeah, I don't think y'all could see it yesterday because when I went back to the playback, I could not see it. So, and I noticed some of y'all asking about it, and then I didn't catch on at the moment. But that's the photo. That's where it all began. A little airbrush too. So here's the secret to using filters. So this photo is retouched a little bit. The secret is don't go overboard. So you can still see some of my lines. You see that on my forehead and right here. The key is to still make it believable. Still make it look like you. So I only do it at like 20%, just enough to knock the shine off and knock all of that off. So that's I'm letting you on some secrets here. Okay, now to the big story. So my granddaddy, who was the single most important person. This is not the one that recently passed away. This is the one who, granddaddy is what we called him. He died in February of 1999, and he was probably the most influential person in my young life. And like more of a father figure to me than my dad. I do love my dad, but granddaddy was definitely more of like a moral center, a patriarch of our family. We all got together all the time with him. He was just a great guy. And Calvin was his name. And I actually wanted to name my son Calvin, but we ended up not using that name for some reason. But so he passed away after numerous heart surgeries and all this kind of stuff. Like he was in hard times with his heart by the end. He had like 7 open heart surgeries, had the best doctors down in Houston, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so he died on February the 3rd of 1999. Todd and I started dating January 28th of 1999. So I went on my first date with Todd like 4 days before my granddaddy died. And I mean, Todd is a saint for sticking with me because I was a wreck. I mean, it was like a parent dying for me. I was a wreck after that. And then the funeral came up, and at the funeral down in McAllen, Texas, where I'm from the Rio Grande Valley. So down in McAllen is where the funeral was. We get there, and I'm going to say I was the beloved grandchild. I'm the his only grandson. He has a bunch of granddaughters who he loves as well, but I was always treated with just some sort of halo. My sister smirks about that all the time, but yes, my grandmother also treated me that way as well. But what was I going to say? So we go down there, and I am just in a way already just about this going on. And so they pick me up at the Harlingen airport, because you have to fly to Harlingen if you fly Southwest. And we're driving, and my dad's wife at the time says something like, "Did you hear what that bitch blah, blah, blah said?" And I'm sitting in the front seat. And I'm giving you a lot of story here. We're going to fill the time with the rest of the story. I'm sitting in the front seat of the truck. She and my sister in the back seat. She goes, "Did you hear what that bitch blah, blah, blah said?" Talking about my grandmother. And exorcist, like my head turned. I was like, "What did you say?" And then she was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "You don't even know what that woman has been through. She's taken care of him for the last 30 years of her life." It was his second marriage. But for the last 30 years of her life, she's taken care of him. And she is going through so much grief and stuff, even more so than your own son. You don't even know. I go into a full Julia Sugarbaker moment pretty much and just tear her to shreds. My sister, meanwhile, is like, she rolls her eyes. My sister's saying, "I roll my eyes." And then she was like, ugh, like did not know what was going to happen. And normally my dad takes up for his wife. He did not in this case. He was like, "That's enough." And so then we get to, and I had not cried yet at this point. For some reason, y'all know I'm a crier. Y'all have seen it. I had not cried yet at this point. We get to McAllen, and my grandmother asked me to go to the florist to look at the flowers that had been sent, to check out the spray, all that stuff. My grandparents used to go to Hawaii for like a month every year. And so they were real big on Hawaiian stuff. So they had a bunch of orchids and stuff on the casket. And so we walk into the floral shop in McAllen. And again, McAllen is 98% Hispanic. And this will come in handy in a moment. We walk in, and I walk in. The first thing I see is someone from Hawaii had sent this giant thing that said "Aloha Calvin," made out of orchids. I lost it. Just, oh, that was the first time. I did not stop crying for like 3 fucking days. I was just a blubbering, like just worthless, totally worthless. For whatever reason, they thought, "Hey, you know what? Cooper would make a great pallbearer." No, I was not. So basically, it was like a Weekend at Bernie's situation where they just brought me into the funeral chapel, propped me up on the side of a pew, and I'm just a mess. All of the cousins were like, "Don't look at Cooper." If they had to speak, basically all the speakers were told, "Don't look at Cooper. Don't look at Cooper. Like you will lose." I was just worthless. My sister's saying I was worthless. Yes, it was true. So the funeral wraps up, all of that kind of stuff. Everyone leaves except for the close family, and we're in there. And it was an open casket. Normally, I hate open casket services. In this case, it made for a humorous situation, though. So everyone goes out. We get to say our final goodbyes, and I decide to jump on top of the casket. So I go to hug him, and I'm hanging on to his dead body. I kid you not. This is like from a sitcom. I am hanging onto his dead body, and my grandmother is like, "What is going on?" And my grandmother is very mouthy too. I actually, even though she's not biologically my grandmother, I get a lot of my mannerisms from her as well. And she's like, "Monica, get over there and take care of your brother." And Monica comes over, and she's like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?" And she goes over and gets me, kind of pries me off of him. There were a couple of other words. I don't remember what else happened. And then they take me and put me in the limousine, the funeral home limousine. This one was baby blue, I think. Just put me up in there, prop me in there too. I did not do any of the job of being a pallbearer at all. Like it was just an honorary position in this case. So then we get to the funeral site, And we get out, and at these traditional funerals, they have the casket there, and then everyone comes in and greets the grieving family and all that stuff. So I go walk up to my grandmother, and I am still just full on, just sobbing, just inconsolable. She grabs me in front of the entire funeral. My sister's saying she came outside to find me and said, "Go get your brother." That's what it was. The details. So I then, at the funeral site, I go up to my grandmother. My grandmother proceeds to grab me by the shoulders and shake me in front of everyone. "Cooper, you need to get yourself together. Get it together." Just like that in front of everybody. It had the opposite effect. It had the effect of basically telling someone to calm down. It did not. I just even more just went, and I don't even remember where I went. I literally don't remember anything after that at all. But that was the story of me throwing myself on my grandfather's dead body. I think it's the only dead body I've actually ever touched. And I'm fine with that. Until Todd dies, and hopefully I go first so that he's heartbroken and not me. I hope to not touch a dead body ever again. So, and with that, that is the show today. 16 minutes. I need to jump over to the happy hour. So if y'all are watching, I sent you a link. There is a magic button in there to go into the happy hour, and I will be there in a moment. Until then, I love you. You are loved. Thank you for watching. This is Cheaper Than Therapy. Thank you for the 100 episodes. Thank you for watching me cry as many times as you have seen that. I reserve it for special occasions, and I think yesterday was one. So, and stay safe. Labor Day, that we had a spike after Memorial Day. We had a spike after Independence Day. Let's don't make it a three-peat here. Stay home. Stay away from people. Wear your fucking mask. And we will get through this. So I will see you on Tuesday, unless I'm seeing you in a few minutes in the happy hour. I will see you on Tuesday for another episode of Cooped Up Live. And don't forget, if you want special invites, go to coopedup.com and you can sign up for my email there, and I'll send you stuff there too. So with that, I'm seeing